Welcome back to an episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we are joined by Courtenay from Built by Balance. And this episode, she's going to talk to us a little bit about our prep and things about getting ready for 5K or just in general, going to the gym and things like that. But before we get into that, what's going on, Kate?
Well, actually, last night I just performed at Maybe Brewing, last night being Tuesday, the 28th of May or whatever. And I hopefully won the Cards Against Humanity competition. So yay me, and we'll assume that I did.
I mean, yeah, we are preemptively saying yes, it happened.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm positive. And then next Monday, I get to perform in a comedy show at Rustico in Fredericton. And then the following Friday, the 7th, I'll be hosting a show at the Fusion East Point. So that's upcoming comedy gigs. If you're at all interested in that, it's pretty fun. I mean, they're pretty fun. Laughing is good. And then what about you, Isaiah?
Well, I weighed myself for the first time in a hot minute, and I've cracked 300 again, which is sad. So
that's sad.
We've got to rearrange what I'm doing, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, this upcoming Saturday, we have the 5K, which I'm super excited for, and super excited to have Courtenay here to kind of talk a little bit about our worries and give us some pointers, and maybe talk a little bit about, maybe trying to get me below that 300 again.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get right into it. Hello, Courtenay. Hi. Why don't you do a quick intro of who you are, what you do, and we'll get into her.
Well, I'm Courtenay. I am the owner of Built by Balance Coaching. I'm an online strength and nutrition coach who essentially just specializes in lifestyle coaching.
Cool. And how do you know Isaiah?
Isaiah and I have known each other, I believe, since we were around 4 or 5. We did go to kindergarten together, but I think we met beforehand.
Yes, I probably at babysitters. Yeah.
It's been a while. 30. When I did the math,
30, it has been a billion years.
years.
We were married once in kindergarten or grade 1. Yeah.
I received a very beautiful dandelion wedding ring.
Oh, that's really sweet. Is that the last time you were actually nice, Isaiah? Or?
I don't even think I was nice then. Let's be real.
Nice enough to get a wife, so.
Well,
she's exceptional, though.
This is true.
Your sister jokes actually off. Her sister-in-law still. She goes, well, you never got a divorce.
I mean,
the wedding wasn't legally binding.
This is true.
It's true.
When the wedding ring is compostable.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I don't even know if that one ever made it out of the babysitter's backyard, to be honest.
So Courtenay, we'll do a second episode in a week or so. We'll record it right now. But in this episode, because the beer run is Saturday, and Isaiah and I should speak for myself. I can't say we both are freaking out. I'm freaking out.
A little freaking out.
We're because it's like a legit 5K, and then the beer comes after, as you just learned before we recorded.
Your reward.
So do you have the obvious advice is you should have started 6 months ago. I even know that. Do you have any what should we be doing in the next week to get ready for this?
Okay, so here's the thing. Not a lot.
Okay, I can do that.
I mean, don't just sit and do nothing. But you don't want to go into this sore. You don't want to overtrain because you're extra worried. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't overdo it to try and you can't make up for the last 6.
Okay.
But
walk.
Essentially, yeah. You don't want to kill yourself so that you're going into this in a bad spot. You want to set yourself up for the best outcome possible.
In terms of nutrition, which you also specialize in, is there anything special we should, because you used to hear about, when you're only tangentially involved in running, and we're not running anywhere, let's face it, but if you see me running, you should also be running.
True.
And faster. Not hard. But as we prepare, what kind of food should we be consuming this week?
Anything that you I want to say that your belly is comfortable. Like, you want to stay away from spice. You don't want, which is honestly the opposite of what I would normally say. Don't go too far into fiber. Like, I'm not saying avoid veggies, but like anything that's not gonna like throw you off course and need a pit stop.
Okay.
The thing that I think everyone hears before a big race or a 5K or a marathon is to carb load. For a 5K, you don't need anything like that. Like the morning of, have like a nice big bowl of oatmeal with some fruit. Don't kill yourself with hydration because that will need pit stops again. You know, just go.
Calm down.
You said you've done it before.
Yeah, this will be my 4th 5K.
Oh.
And all of them have had me finish in last place.
Well,
But you finished.
Yep, 3 of them I finished. I'm
That's the goal.
personally not confident that I'm going to be able to finish this
I
one.
think you can do, because now you have a partner.
yes.
And Isaiah is the best partner. And I don't know if you've listened to our episodes where we've talked about this, but Isaiah, last year, Isaiah and I had this because we had just started the podcast. We were a couple months in. We were like, we're going to do this 5K. And last year, we were both in different positions, I think, in that I was working out very regularly. I had started working out last January, and by this, I was 6 months in, and I was feeling really good, and I lost some weight, which I've gained back. And I had, was feeling good leading up to it, but I hadn't done any I know that 5K isn't a long walk for most people, but it is for me.
Well, if it's something you don't do, I don't personally do cardio. I don't do a lot of running. I barely do a lot of walking. Like, I'm a nutrition coach, strength and nutrition coach who works online.
Yeah.
5K, it's intimidating.
It is intimidating, and I've always been I growing up, I played sports, I played basketball, and I played soccer. But even when I would run laps playing soccer, I was always trailing the pack. That's just I'm a lumbering kind of person. The speed has never been my thing, especially long distance speed. And so, now because I do carry a fair amount of weight, my knees and my back just ill. And so last year when we'd be walking, I'd be like, Isaiah, go on without me. Because I also have this guilt complex that goes along with doing. I hate the thought of my weight holding anyone else back. I don't like it holding me back either. But I really hate holding somebody up and having that be the issue. So I'm always like, Isaiah, go on without me. I'm fine. He's like, Caitlin, I'm not leaving you. I'm like, I'll be fine.
That's a good partner. That's who you want. You want someone with you that's gonna push you in a comfortable way.
Yeah.
You do need a little. It's kind of how I do my coaching. Like I say, I'm tough love, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But there still has to be a bit of compassion, and I think between the two of you guys, that is gonna get you to.
All right. That's good advice, Courtney. Okay, so eat what you normally eat. Don't do much. You're the best trainer ever. Just be nice to each other.
I mean, lay off the beer, lay off the spice. But ultimately, we're not in the Olympics here. You really just want to finish and get to the goal at the end. And then next year or the next 5K, work on doing it fast, but still finish.
Yeah.
You don't want to, you're going into this with really realistic expectations. And I think that's the most important thing.
That's cool.
Nice.
So tell us, a little bit about yourself. I know we'll focus in on how you develop your business and all that, but what is your relationship with, you just talked about how you got into strength and fitness, but have you ever done a race or anything like that?
I have not. No, I'm not competitive in any way, shape, or form. Other than with myself, I guess, in the gym, I'm always pushing myself, or I've done a couple photo shoots and stuff. And that's kind of my competition is I want to either look better, look stronger, eat more, ultimately with myself.
Right.
I played basketball as a kid, but I get asked all the time when I'm in the gym, are you competing for a bodybuilding show? And I'm like, no, I'm just here, just lifting heavy things. I'm just doing the thing. So yeah, a 5. I really like beer too. So
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe I'll have to be in for the 5K next year.
You're on team Kate and Isaiah, but like, I funnily enough, my sister's going to do the beer run this year. And I was like, and she was like trying to get her friends to go on with her. And she did find a group to go with. But at first I was like, well, you can walk with Isaiah and I. And she's like, she walks every day and she's pretty consistent with it. And I was like, oh, you don't want to walk that slowly. She's like, no.
You know what? I would be there with you. Went to Mactaquac yesterday and we did Beaver Pond.
Beaver Dam Trail? I don't know which one that one is, but yeah, go ahead.
One of the two.
One of them.
And it was like 3.4. And I'm like, that's perfect. 3.4K. That's excellent. That's perfect for me. And we walked it and that was enough.
Yeah. I have all these dreams. Like my sister was talking about the Sussex Bluffs, and I was like, how far is that? And I was like, she was like, I think it's less than 5K. And it is exactly 5K. Because I was like, I've always wanted to do that one, but I was afraid that I can't.
Do the 5K, and then you can do.
Yeah. I can do anything I set my mind to.
Right.
I'm gonna die.
So after the 5K, we're continuing to work on ourselves. What are some? I mean, for me, I have trying to get back to the gym. Trying to get myself motivated to keep going back to the gym, and I have struggled some days to even just like look at the gym. So what are some tips you have about motivation?
I don't have any because I hate talking about motivation because no one is motivated all the time. I think the last podcast I listened was you saying, I just don't have the motivation for it anymore. And I was screaming through my phone, me neither. You need to just do it anyway. Like do it when it's hard because that makes it so much easier eventually. Like I always say, like flex your dedication and flex your discipline muscle because you will be motivated after you get in there.
Don't have dedication or discipline.
Well, when you stepped on the scale this morning, you had to feel something.
Yeah. Sadness.
Okay, so use that though. Push it. Use that. It's a really, I don't want to say overused word, but it's just something that people are like always waiting for, but you can't depend on it. I'm not motivated all. I told you the other day, I was like, I'm really like, and I texted my best friend. I'm like, I've almost canceled 47 times. This is very out of my comfort zone for me, just like the 5K or the gym might be for you guys. This is very
well. You're doing a fantastic job. You seem natural, so
you're making it very easy. And I knew once we got in here, it would be fine.
Yeah, it is hard to do these things though. Yeah, and this is a big. I mean, unless you're a showboat like me, you're like, oh, a camera, cool.
I chose online coaching because the one-on-one and the face-to-face is intimidating to me, but. You genuinely just can't wait to be motivated. But the more you go and the easier it becomes, the more motivating it is. The more you see results, that's what gets you motivated. But you have to push there first.
That brings me to a follow-up question. Because I've been down that road and we've seen it on this podcast where like last year I was I really was. I was in a good place last year. I lost a significant amount of weight, which is not necessarily the end goal, but it certainly is a byproduct of the changes that I was making in my life. And more importantly, I did power through those gym motivation issues. And I was consistent for like 9 months. I was super consistent. And then I had a job change and my time my ability to do it structured in my time frame swapped. And I know I hear my mom's voice in my head sometimes going, life is about choices, dear. And you're choosing to do all these other things and not go to the gym. So like, and I recognize that is a thing because I don't want to come home 6 o'clock and not go to band or choir or tell jokes or do all this. I want to do those things or do this podcast. But I also recognize the need to fit some other fitness in. But traditionally, when I've hit those plateaus in the past where like I hadn't lost any more weight in a couple of months, which was fine. And I was actually dealing with that in a good way. But how do you overcome that plateau mentally and keep going?
I think it also really depends. I mean, aside from motivation, you have to like it in some way.
Yeah.
Like not everyone. I've had clients I have like a 6-month minimum requirement for my one-on-one coaching, and they've left after 6 months and they've been like, you've been amazing. I don't like lifting weights.
Yeah.
Some of them prefer the HIIT classes. Some of them go into like the boxing. Have to like it to make it worth pushing past that I have no motivation. If you don't like lifting weights, if you don't like running, it's not going to last.
Right.
So if you liked lifting the weights, aside from the push past the no motivation, planning is my lifestyle. I have the most intricate blocked out planner, and my gym time is a blocked out, it's a schedule, it's an appointment. That's what I tell my clients to do anyway. With your meal prep, with your gyms, make it an appointment like you would for your job.
Right. That's great advice. Yeah. And I know for me in the past, classes have always been the thing that I found that works for me. And I found it first with Port City Fitness Gym, and then that closed. And then I found it with
Afterburn.
Well, I did go to Afterburn until this job change happened. And then I had to, it's just the timing didn't work out.
Right.
And I loved Afterburn. Like I love Afterburn. It's a great gym. I love Port City Fitness. It was an amazing gym as well. Like they're
all those local gyms.
Yeah, there's something about that local feel that is just so warm, and because it's as much about the instructor and the gym owners and who are wonderful, as it is about the community that's developed around it. Because most predominantly women, but the women and men like went to the other gym and go to this gym are the most wonderful people. And like we did an episode 6-7 months ago about me accomplishing my first box jump. And that was like the best feeling because, and there was a lady who I went to class with, her name's Donna, and she's like sweetest. And she's like a spitfire, awesome lady. She held my hand while I did it. She didn't do anything. She's 5 feet tall.
But just being there. Yeah. That's why a lot of people, women in particular, like you said, do love the classes for that community.
Yeah.
I do find Afterburn in general is very community strong. Both of them. I go to Afterburn as well.
Oh, nice.
And I'm there 4 to 5 days a week with the same group of there's 8 to 10 of us, and we're there every morning at the same time. And none of us work out together, but we're all just there existing with each other, and it makes you want to go.
It does. Do you go to the one on Bayside Drive?
Bayside Drive.
Yeah, that's where I went to, and it was great. I really miss it. Yeah.
So I guess talking about meal prep, I had mentioned on a long time ago that I was trying the chicken and rice thing. And you messaged me and was like, hey, you can do more than just chicken and rice. So
good for you.
It's easy, but are you going to eat like that the rest of your life?
I mean, who knows?
I do. You're not going to.
You're not wrong. But what other meals can I try besides chicken and rice? So
there's nothing wrong with chicken and rice, but if you're eating just chicken and rice, who wants to eat that? Make your chicken and rice like chicken fried rice. Add in. So my prep style, I'm going to go home after this, but I essentially cook a whole tray of chicken breast, a whole bunch of ground beef, whole thing of rice, and I have sourdough or whatever. And there's so many hundreds of millions of meals that I can make from those 4 or 5 ingredients. Sometimes it is just last night, got home super hungry, chicken and rice. But today I'm having chicken and some protein pasta with pesto. All the food groups are there. I sent you my ebook.
Yes.
To also share. Did he?
No. Let's be real. No, I did not.
So even in that ebook, there's firecracker chicken. There's a chicken buffalo dip that's wildly high in protein.
With Greek yogurt?
It's Greek yogurt, bit of sour cream, chicken.
Nice.
Use the tortilla chips. There's chicken pad thai.
That's awesome. Why didn't you share that with me, Isaiah?
I'll send it to you later.
You just have to be realistic in if what you're doing to lose weight isn't what you're going to do forever, then it's not going to last forever. Because you have to teach yourself how to eat in a way that you want to eat forever. If you're going to eat chicken and rice forever, then you're going to be able to maintain your weight loss forever. Great. But no one is. But if you can eat firecracker chicken and beef broccoli and chicken pad thai all the time
Yeah.
to lose weight, then it's going to work.
Okay.
One of the things too, when we had Dr. Mike Pelkey on, he talked about how when you are in weight loss mode, your body treats that, technically speaking, weight loss is a fatal event eventually.
Yep.
And so your body treats it as such. So if you end up eating the same thing all the time, your body will be like, cool, but like, is this all I'm getting?
It happens essentially. It's the calories. So I try and have my girls. I tell them we're going to try and feed you as much as possible while losing weight.
Yeah.
That goal is not to starve everyone at 1,200 calories ever. I start most of my girls between 1,800 and 2,000 calories, which is a lot for a woman in society. What they think is a lot.
It is.
Most women come to me and say, this is too much food. I can't eat all this food. Well, in order to become overweight, to get where you are, you've been eating more than. That's just how science works.
Yeah.
Short of like hormonal issues or like a weird eating past, you're just eating more. Right. And there's always more that goes in. It's very base, calories in, calories out, but there has to be more than that.
Yeah.
But like you said, your body adapts to it. So if I start myself out, for example, at 1,800 calories, I'm going to start losing weight. But if I eat at 1,800 calories for months and months and months, that's where it stops. Your body adapts to those.
Right.
And it happens again. And then that's where the 1,200 calories comes in. Well, if you just start at 1,200 calories, you'll lose a bunch of weight.
But then you stop.
And then you stop. And then what do? Like my 7-year-old eats more than 1,200 calories a day.
You can't eat less than that. I mean, you can.
I mean,
but it's
you can,
not good.
but no. And that's where women start. Like they lose their period, they lose hunger cues. They don't even know what hunger is anymore because they're just always hungry. That's their survival, and that's where the term starvation mode kind of came.
Right.
Interesting.
That is interesting, and I appreciate that advice. And I think it's similar to what I've done in the past with like different plans, etc. Because we all get so sucked into this diet culture, and diet culture is ostensibly is wrong.
Yucky. It's so yucky.
I think the best thing that you've said so far, so I'm going to reiterate it, and you've said amazing things so far, but well, I mean, there are two great things. One was do nothing before your 5K this weekend. And the second is the I lost it. Oh my god, Caitlin. Was that if you are not making changes that you can sustain the rest of your life, they aren't changed. You're not going to succeed. Yeah. You might succeed in the short term, but you're not going to succeed in the long term.
Right. That's where all of the cleanses and the shake, and all of the keto and all of the things. Like keto is essentially a calorie deficit because you're taking out an entire food group.
Right.
So it's going to work. And then the first time you have a piece of bread, you explode.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah.
Or you have a piece of bread and you're like, oh, this is good. And then you have a loaf of bread because you've been restricting for so long.
From a fitness point of view and recognizing all this diet culture thing, I think all of this is great advice if you have, 20 or 30, even 40 or 50 pounds to lose. When you're talking about a significant amount of weight loss where the weight is cumbersome and, probably surgical intervention is a very strong and real possibility on wait lists and things like that. Is there some credence to doing a keto to get a good chunk of weight off just simply for the joints? And
I mean,
in your opinion,
I'm still the firmest believer in if you're not going to do it forever, then you're not.
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't. Any of them will work because they put you in a calorie deficit. If you're willing to give up carbs for a significant amount of time and it works and then I mean, I'll never fault you or tell you not to do something. If it's something you like, if it's something you want to try, and if it's working.
Right.
Your body really, really, really needs carbs.
Yeah.
Keto is the one I think I have the biggest issue with because like the shake diets and the cleanses and stuff, they all contain nutrients, just that you don't, essentially you just drink them all. Keto is probably my biggest beef because
Nice words.
Carbs is the highest macro that I give my, like most women are sitting around like 120, 130 protein and then like over 200 because you need them and you like them.
Right.
And anything you like drink is a carb.
Mhm.
All the fruit is still a carb. Veggies, they're carbs. They're fiber, but it's a carb.
Yeah.
And your body, like I told you before your 5K, if you eat anything, eat some oats and protein, or eat oats and fruit because it's carbs. That's your body's main energy source.
Right.
Like you need fats for hormones and some digestion. You need protein to build your muscle. Your body needs carbs for energy.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Do you have any parting words before we enter this
Sign off.
endeavor? And
I want you to be kind to yourself first and foremost. You're gonna finish, but just pace yourself. Carbs, hydration, and take care of yourself afterwards. That's, I think, what you really need to focus on is afterwards, after you finish, when you finish. Hydration before beer.
Mhm.
Beer is hydration.
It is very not hydration, but you can do like beer water.
What about beer, water, vodka?
What?
We'll see.
And carbs afterwards too, more than beer. Beer is a carb.
There are going to be hot dogs available after the
Perfect.
beer run.
Yeah.
That's a carb and protein.
Yeah.
You're good.
Not a super healthy life choice forever.
But that's the balance of it.
Right.
You just ran a 5K. Don't need to eat chicken and rice afterwards.
No, we don't ever need
That's
to eat
true.
chicken and rice all the time.
Mm-mm.
Thank you so
Oh,
much for being
yes.
here, Courtney.
Thank
This
you
has
so
been
much for having me.
wonderful.
So next week, we'll have Courtney back next week to talk a little bit about just her life in general. That'll be a fun one. But before we go, where can people find you on the internet, Courtney?
They can find me both on Instagram and Facebook, built_by_balance.
Awesome. And you have a website as well, correct?
I do, builtbybalance.ca.
I will make sure that in the description below that's listed there if you want to go check it out. And Kate, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at Fat Caitlin on TikTok, Kate D or Kated on Instagram, Caitlin Dean on Facebook, and you can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook and on TikTok. Breathing. What about you, Isaiah?
And I am at Maritime Brews on all the social medias. Again, you can donate to us at Buy Me a Coffee, which will be in the description below. As well, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to your podcast, we are also on YouTube. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification so that you get notified when we post our next episode. But until next week, bye.
Bye.